Gracious good morning, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It is Monday morning. It is 3:42 in the a.m., and it is also December 18th. I'm looking forward to a few days off this week and moving into Christmas. Need to share. Oh man, I've been a little down in the dumps about Christmas. This is the second Christmas without mom. The first one, wasn't too bad because she had just passed and we were all still pretty numb. This year, it hits different. And it hits different for several reasons. Now I'm awake, and walking in faith, enjoying, the spiritual walk. As I shared in a video yesterday, I talked about being on a slash and burn tear in my grief and calling myself supporting someone else in something that was going on. And let me just say, they showed up peoply. People are going to be people. I need to say that. And we all have our stuff. For me, I come in announcing my stuff. Good, bad, or otherwise, I come in announcing my stuff. And it's frustrating for some folks to have the level of brutal, frank honesty. And for others, it's welcome, but it's a lot. And I know I'm a lot. I need to say that. I know I'm a lot. But I had an unspoken expectation. And I set myself up. Notice how I'm phrasing this. I set myself up in that unspoken expectation and imploded. And then was angry in grief and angry at everybody. But then I came to myself in that prodigal son moment. And when I came to myself, to quote Aunt Esther from Sanford and Son, oh, glory. Yes. When you come through the other side, I'm going to tell you that fire ain't comfortable. But when you come through the other side, and some of you know what that noise means, that Let me just get into this reading. It's 24 hours a day, the Little Black Book. And, excuse me, I covered my mouth. For me, it's just food for thought for the experience. It says, unless we have the key of faith to unlock the meaning of life, we are lost. That is cryptic and deep. Unless we have the key of faith to unlock the meaning of life, we are lost. See, we want the meaning of life without the faith. And some things we just have to trust on face value. It says, we do not choose faith because it is one way for us, but because it's the only way. See, we hear there are many roads to God. I'm going to say, depends on how you define God. And I'm going to refer you to the story about the blind men and the elephant. Each person has a part of the elephant, but they're describing the entire elephant by the part that they're holding on to. Does that sound like your faith? Does that sound like your faith walk? Do you consider your faith complete? Yeah, I'm posing all these questions not only to you, but to myself. Because I have to do this walk. Nobody can walk this walk for me. Amen. Let me get back to this reading. Let me start over here. Unless we have the key of faith to unlock the meaning of life, we are lost. We do not choose faith because it is the way for us, but because it's the only way. Many have failed and will fail. See? So get the notion of perfection out of your head. Get the notion of quick fix out of your head. And don't see failure as permission to stop. Failure is permission to go to the next chapter, figure out what you missed. Failure is an opportunity. It says, many have failed and will fail. For we cannot live victorious without faith. We are at sea without a rudder or an anchor, drifting on the sea of life. Wayfarers without a home. Our souls are restless until they find rest in God. Without faith, our lives are meaningless. Our lives are a meaningless succession of unrelated happenings without rhyme or reason. Have I come to rest in faith? I like that. Without faith, our lives are a meaningless succession of unrelated happenings without rhyme or reason. We go from crisis to crisis, from person to person, from thing to thing. There's a line, I think it's in the movie Miss Jane Pittman, the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, where she's describing how African Americans are looking for leadership and posing the question, and I'm going to say it the way she says it in the movie, is you the one? And that's how we go through life, man. We go from one thing to the next, always posing that question, are you the one? Am I going to find happiness? Is this the end? Is this the climax for me? Or the apex for me? It says, this vast universe around us, including the wonderful earth on which we live, was once perhaps only a thought in the mind of God. The nearer the astronomer and the physicist get to the ultimate composition of all things, the nearer the universe approaches a mathematical formula, which is thought. The universe may be thought of the great thinker. The great thinker. What are you thinking about? And is it the road to great thinking? Amen. It says we must try to think God's thoughts after him. We must try to get guidance from the divine mind. Ooh, I love that saying, the divine mind. As to what his intentions are for the world and what part we have in carrying it out. Man, what will God have for me to do? We should wake up with that sentence. What will God have for me to do today? See, we do big picture thinking. And in that big picture thinking, we want to assume a level of grandiosity for ourselves when it's important to approach the things of God and the ways of God and the will of God in humility. It's not about you. It's about the kingdom. It's about other people. Amen. The prayer for the day. I pray that I may not worry over the limitations of my human mind. I pray that I may live as though my mind were a reflection of the divine mind. We need to act as if our minds are a reflection of the divine mind. Amen.